Hi, Christina. Are you in? Real estate 38. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? We're going to get started. It's about 1 o'clock right now. Well, now that I'm in slideshow mode, I'm not going to be able to see you or talk to you. So can you guys hear me okay? I think Christina's, and I can't see chat either, unfortunately. Okay, we're getting people in. This is Donna.
Hello.
Hello?
It's Donna.
Yes.
Hi, this is Amber calling on a recorded line with Bryce Solar. How are you doing today?
I'm teaching a class right now. I'm sorry, I can't talk. Bryce Solar, whatever. Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we'll get started because I want to be respectful of everybody's time. It's 1:01. I don't think it's going to take 2 hours. So hopefully I'll be able to give you guys some time back to your day. Go back and prospect and do some lead gen and some marketing. So I'm Donna Castillo. I'm been in real estate for about 5 years now. Prior to this, I was in corporate marketing, so it makes sense that I'm doing the marketing class, right? I used to manage a team and responsible for all the marketing activities in Fortune 500 companies, like I was at Adobe and then some semiconductor companies, and then I was a contractor as well. So let's get started. We're going to be talking about lead gen. In this session, we're going to be talking about lead gen, and my favorite thing to do is branding. So defining your brand, how you're going to market your brand, market your listing, and just really putting it all together on a nice package and a bow so that you can be getting a lot of new business, getting those listings. So it'd be great if you guys, feel free to speak up. So I'm just talking to slides right now, so I can't see your beautiful faces. But just wondering where you are today and what have you done to lead generate in the last 24 hours? Anybody want to tell me? Anybody have any answers?
Not enough.
Hey, Josh.
How's it going?
What have you done over the last 24 hours?
Actually, we had a kind of a rough couple of days, so we fell off the horse there. My wife's we were a team. She's been calling some buyer leads off a Facebook ad.
And did you do the Facebook ad through command?
It was actually another agent. Well, we're working with on coaching, so it was off a listing that they had.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. And how's it going for you?
Good. She's been actually getting quite a few leads, so that's been going really well. And I'm getting on calling expireds.
Oh, good.
So,
and then how are you getting your expired information?
Land Voice.
Land Voice. I like Land Voice too.
Yeah.
Really like Land Voice. I'm enjoying that one. And so it's working for you. That's great. Anybody else have anything? It's Josh will be the only one talking. You're the only brave one, Josh. So I hear this going well. Any difficult part of that activity, Josh? Any challenges that you're seeing with Facebook ads?
The Facebook ads, no. We ran one. We just relocated. We're in Santa Cruz. We just relocated back from Montana, and we ran one up there, and it had mediocre results. But again, it was our first one, so just learning. It was just like, oh, let's just try this out and test it. And we ran one down here where we didn't get any leads on it, but it was kind of a generic looking, and talking with some people. We're going to look at doing a kind of more of a sort of raw, authentic type ad, and see how that works. Maybe like a video or something.
Video. People love videos, and just make sure you have your call to action included.
Yeah,
Don't just
correct.
give information and then don't tell them what to do. That's going to be important.
Yeah.
And then, so what I hear you say is you're going to change those Facebook ads, and that's what you're going to do to help your marketing along. So that's great. That's good. Anybody else have any ideas or any comments you want to add of what you're doing?
I'm not doing anything. I need motivation. So that's why I'm here.
Yay. Thank you, Christina.
Hey, Josh, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
What ad, you said you did post an ad that didn't generate much, action for you. What was that like? What was that ad like?
It was, what did we do? I'm trying to remember what it was now.
It needs to be more memorable than that. I know that.
Yeah, well, exactly, right? I believe it was, we were trying to, it was a home valuation ad. So, it was kind of clicked into Facebook leads in command, and they had kind of like almost like a pre-template, like, like, well, let's try that out. It all read well. The one thing that I didn't do, and we picked up from Chris Alston in Sacramento when he did the previous class, and he talked about using the emojis, and I've heard before that's a key thing to use, using emojis throughout your text in the ad, and yeah, it was just sort of like, what's your home worth, or want to see what your value is. So we threw that out there, and it was a direct link to our webpage, which we have through Brivity, that has a home valuation page.
Right.
And so, but yeah, we didn't get any leads through that one. And mind you, I mean, I spent like $10 on it just to see what kind of traction. I think we got like 500 impressions, like 50 clicks, or 5 clicks maybe, something like that. They were all relatively low numbers compared to the one we ran in Montana, which had like 2,000 impressions. and we generated 7 leads off of that, but they didn't go anywhere.
Okay.
And then we moved here. So
Okay. Well,
Wow.
thank you
Big
for that
move.
info.
yeah.
So just so that you know too, you could also upload your own database or leads that you want to target. So when those individuals are online, they will be targeted to see your ads more frequently. So just to give you an idea, we could talk about that separately. And so we're still introducing. So, you know, you've already been through a couple classes, hopefully the introduction, the positioning, prospecting, now with the marketing. The next class after this is going to be leveraging a database, which should be a great class. And then, you know, you're building the foundation so that you start living your goals and start living the life that you deserve, right? So that's why we're here. For me, I'll just be selfish. A great training experience is all of us sharing information. So Josh, I appreciate that. And so Christina, so if we could share, I think that's going to be great. Make this a little bit more interactive than me just talking at you. Any comments on what would be great for you?
That all sounds
Good.
good.
Okay, we'll keep going. Lead generation, we see this a lot. I think it's kind of funny. It's like, I like to say, it's like building a car, making bread. I mean, you got to have certain things in place in order to be successful. So here, you know, you need flour to make bread, right? So that's going to be your METs and your haven't METs in your database. You need yeast to make the dough. That's your prospecting 3 hours a day. You need water, which activates the yeast. That's your marketing, your daily habit, or your 3 hours per day of prospecting. And then, you know, that's going to create the heat that you need to make the bread. And so you really need, everything has to come together in order for you to be successful in your marketing and prospecting efforts. And, you know, they don't really say it here, but you also need to, you know, start developing, if you haven't done so, is creating a strong brand around you. So, you know, I know that we have a lot of red in our logo and our look and feel, but if it wasn't for Keller Williams, when I see something red, I always think Coca-Cola. Right. And so and that's kind of what you want to do with yourself and with your brand, because you are a brand. You're a walking, talking, live brand every time you walk out the door to talk to a customer. So just remember that. So this prospecting, your marketing, your brand, all three go together. Okay. And so, and marketing is a passive form of lead gen. It's expensive, right? So you're kind of mailing out that card and, you know, crossing your fingers and hope somebody calls you from that mailer. It attracts business, doesn't go out and find business. That's why you need to pick up the phone and prospect. Like I said, you know, disadvantages around mailers and things like that. It's just it's expensive. When I first joined real estate, I forgot what the name of the company was. It was at a Tom Ferry conference, and I immediately signed up for an area for farming. I remember it was in Campbell, but it was $1,000 a month, and you're really not going to get anything for 6 months when you're farming. You got to plan on that. So, you know, that was $6,000 where I never got a lead. You know, I ended it because I couldn't afford it anymore. And unfortunately, you know, after that 6 months, no one's going to really remember you, right? So expensive. It's less personal and memorable. Once again, it depends on what your brand is and what, you know, that's really a generic statement. But, you know, if you have a really big oversized card, or if the mailer looks like a star or something like that, it can make it more memorable and more personal. But it still is a disadvantage, because when you start doing that, it increases the cost of the piece. And like I said, it took 6 months. It takes 6 months when you're farming an area doing a mailer. So you don't really see those immediate results. But, you know, it's efficient. You get the name, you get your phone number, you get the information out to as many people as you like. But, you know, that cost can be, it could be cost prohibitive. But I don't want to say no to it. It's an important part. Remember, back to the bread. It's an important part of your overall marketing and prospecting and branding process. So the role of marketing during your growth phase in the beginning is to supplement your prospecting. So it's not to replace, but to supplement. So you still need to get on the phone, go out to events and talk to people, and don't be a secret agent. Let them know you're an agent. I like wearing my KW t-shirt a lot when I'm out and about. Just so people ask me about real estate, right? Because they don't know. They just think I'm a mom out there doing my thing. And especially in the beginning, for those of you that may not feel that you have a big database, what do? You got to get your name out there. so that people do know that you're in real estate now, and start collecting names and contact information to increase your database to help you with your prospecting efforts. Okay, anybody have any questions so far? We're good? I see heads waving or shaking, right? But once again, money, be careful with the money. Play red light, green light. And so the benefits, it gives you, one thing is it gives you a reason to prospect. So I put this, I added this. So, you know, you send out a mailer, let's say, Josh, you said you're calling expired from Land Voice, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, so you do a mailer, or they're teaching us this in the pre-foreclosure and short sales class, and almost every class they tell you to mail something first. You mail it, you wait a couple of days, you say, hi, this is Donna, did you receive that market report I sent you or the mailer I sent you? So it gives you a reason to call versus just a complete cold call. Doesn't mean they're going to remember you, but at least it gives you that reason to call. It gives you that confidence. You know that at least you mailed them something and they should have received it. They should have read it, hopefully, and gives you a reason to call. And it helps increase or not only keep mind share, increase mind share. You know, it's important to be out there all the time in front of people, right? To remember you. When I was in corporate marketing, you know, my audience was different. It was sales engineers. It would take 12 touches for them to even think of me or the company. When I say me, the company, it would take 12 touches. A trade show would be one touch. If they received a mailer, that was 12 touches before they started even thinking about you or considering you. So marketing truly is a numbers game. So in the part average response rates by media, you'll see that it's almost 13%. So a response is an action taken as a result of a piece of marketing. So like we said earlier, you're going to do that mailer, then you're going to be calling them 13%. And so if you look at the MREA book, it goes into more detail, but you're talking about using the 12 direct consistently over time is a 2% return, so 50 to 1. So it outpaces the industry. You know, what you need to do here is to be consistent. If you're farming an area, you need to be consistent and consistent look and feel too, and consistent messaging. I'm not the serious person where I send a card that says, you know, contact me for a CMA. I like to do things a little bit more fun and lighter, and my pieces always reflect that. You're never going to see a piece. I like this one. I don't know if you see it. So I get this at my house from Real Estate 38 from Zaid Hanna, who's pretty popular. And it's really just asking for if I want a report on my house. So, and I almost get the exact same card from about 4 or 5 other agents. So you want to set yourself apart, right? So room informing, sharpen your skills and build your daily 3-hour habits. So that 13% can skyrocket and bring you even more sales and more listings and more buyers. Okay. So a myth, I only need to prospect or to market. So keeping it separately, I'm only going to be on the phone. I'm only going to be on social media. I'm only going to do mailers. Once again, going back to the bread, or I like building a car. You need all the components together to be successful in lead generation. So you have to combine, it says 2, I say 3, is prospecting, marketing, and your branding. And that's how you're going to really create a strong personal relationship with your database, your METs, and then, and then how you're going to introduce yourself to your not METs until you move them over to the METs and really grow that relationship. And once you have that relationship, when they think real estate, they're going to think of you. And that's where you want to get to. Those referrals are wonderful. It's a lot easier than knocking on doors, right? Feel free. Anybody can talk. Okay. So myth 2, the purpose of prospecting marketing is to get appointments. No. Well, you want an appointment. That's the first step, but you want to get that appointment to go in, meet with somebody, and get that listing agreement, so to get that sale, right? And you want those appointments increase your database of METs. Yes. I also want a listing. Listing's gold right now, so I would take that a little bit further. But really, prospect is really get appointments and increase your METs and increase your database. Right? You guys are easy today. Myth number 3, any marketing I do builds mind share. Like I said, I did it for 6 months in Campbell, and I bet if I went back to those same houses they wouldn't know who I was, right? And so it really takes that consistency, and it takes time. And when you commit, you know, play red light, green light with your budget. But if you do commit to do it consistently. And, you know, the method changes is different based on who you talk to. A lot of people will say, and this is what I did, is that first month, they got something from me every week. And then the second month, it was every 2 weeks until I got to every month they got something consistently. Zaid Hannah, who's a really popular, you know, top producing agent, I get something from him every month. I get something every month from Rusty Paps. And then I tell you, I got 4 or 5 agents. The other ones are very, very sporadic. All of a sudden, I just have a card on my front porch, and and then you don't see it again. So it's just to show you, I don't even remember their name, but I do know that Zaid and Rusty do it consistently. And so if I feel that way, I'm sure other people are feeling that way in their homes. So make sure that you do it repeatedly, consistently, same messaging, same branding, same color, look and feel, and you won't be throwing away your money. And so defining your brand, one of my favorite things, I added this slide. So I wanted to show you, going back. So Joe Velasco is actually a friend of mine. And this is his landing page on his website. He always says, real service, real solutions, real estate. Joe Velasco, exceeding client expectations daily. You see that in absolutely everything he does. So you check him out. He's consistent with his messaging, and he's extremely successful, extremely. I mean, he's now to the point where he's buying properties, building houses, and selling neighborhoods. He just did one in Sunnyvale that he built, I think, 10 townhouses and sold each and every one of them almost immediately. So he's one to watch if you want to look at some really good marketing. Now, Zaid, I put that up there because he's called Real Estate 38, and I have no idea what 38 means. I read it. I read his card. I counted the letters of his name. I just can't figure out what 38 means. Anybody have any ideas what 38 would mean? See,
maybe he was 38 years old when he started.
What is that, Elsie?
Maybe his age was 38 when he started.
Maybe, but we don't know, right? So that's
Yeah.
not, so we don't know. So not good branding, not good messaging. He never says anything. Every time I get a card, it's a beautiful card, right? But the messaging isn't consistent. He doesn't, where Joe will always say real service, real solutions, real estate, and everything he does. On his letterhead, his brochures, his property listings, very consistent. So it's really important when you start building out your brand that it's something you have to believe in it yourself, right? That's going to be it's an extension of you. It's what people are going to see before they even meet you a lot of times, and you have to be able to be consistent with it. And so you want your brand to be memorable, and like I said, it has to be you. It has to be true to you, because it helps you build your reputation. So it should include your unique selling proposition. I always say that I'm the real estate problem solver. My whole life, if somebody has something that they need, I will figure it out one way or another. And if I can't figure it out, I'll find out somebody who can figure it out with me. So, and that's something that's just part of me, always has been. And so when I had a meeting and I came up with the real estate problem solver. So find out what your own unique selling proposition is and build a brand around it, whether it's words, look and feel. And then you have to really deliver on that unique selling proposition. And the customer service around it, right? You don't want to spend all this money on branding yourself and you have this great USP and it's beautiful and you never answer your phone, right? So all that is going to, that customer service is also part of your brand, and it's going to help you grow as a realtor. And and there's really no right brand. It's really who you are as a person and who you want to sell to. That's going to be really important. What's your target audience? Maybe if I just wanted to sell to the seniors, I may brand myself a little bit differently, use different colors, be softer, use a lot of people over 60 in my brochures and mailers and things like that. So think about what your target audience is. With me, I just kept it a little bit more vague so I can customize it based on who it's going to, and not customize it a lot, but just a little bit. And so like here it says expressing the key value that you bring to your customers. So whatever that is. And you just got to articulate it in writing, in colors, look, feel, the images you pick. Any questions about branding? I have a good story about branding. You know what sound is this? Do 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 do. What is that? What company is that? Maybe I didn't do it well.
I don't know.
Do do do. Maybe you haven't heard it for a while. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's my age. Maybe I know it more than you guys. Okay, so that's Intel Inside. Who remembers the Intel Inside commercials?
Remember now.
You remember now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know Intel Inside, right? And so, so I used to work with branding agencies to create a sound for your brand. It's like $1 million. And Intel spent way more than that on that whole Intel Inside branding look and feel. So that's how important, because I noticed that Netflix, I know everyone's watching Netflix, right? You're at home watching TV. They have that initial sound when you double click on Netflix. They have a sound, that I don't even have to look at the TV. I know somebody's logging into Netflix now because of that sound.
But Skype calls too.
Yeah, exactly. Those are sounds as well. Yeah, sounds is, yeah. So, so branding is like so important. So important. So you got to analyze your style, right? I added this Bruce Hardy. He used to be in a suit, tie, shiny shoes every time he went out to meet with customers, but he was meeting with clients that had a home sale price of like $50,000. So the owners would come home from work, they're in t-shirts, jeans, and tennis shoes. It doesn't work, right? You got to remember who's your target audience, right? So you could still be, Joe Velasco can be in his Gucci suit or whatever you want to call it, but he'll also wear jeans and a t-shirt based on his audience. And so it's really mirroring who you want to talk to without really giving up your brand. Does this make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
So important. It's just, and really for me, if you brand yourself well, you're going to be above almost all the ages. Not a lot of ages know how to brand themselves, and they're not branding themselves well. Right, so you have these top producers that don't do that. How much more could they be doing have they branded themselves well? At a certain point, it's just your name and that'll be enough. But in the beginning, when you're trying to develop your business and your clients, it's super important for you to do that. And having a statement of your core business is like a mission statement. That includes your style, your unique selling proposition, and it just helps you with your story. So, every time I start a video, it's really, hi, I'm Donna Castillo, and I'm your real estate problem solver with Keller Williams. There it is, I'm done, and so people are now make fun of me. My friends are teasing me now, hey, real estate problem solver, I have a problem for you. But at least, I like it when they say that because it's resonating and it's starting to work. And probably took me about 1.5 years for that to start happening. That didn't happen overnight at all. So know that it's going to take a while, just like your farming. But it will help your lead gen because sometimes maybe they don't remember your name, but they'll remember your brand. I mean, how many times do you go shopping and you go, I need that bottle of, I don't know who makes it, but it's in a green bottle with a pump or whatever, right? That's kind of what happens. We're not going to do any exercises, but you should start working on your brand identity statement. And really think about who's your target audience, your demographic. If I wanted to market, I'm Hispanic, I'm Puerto Rican. If I really wanted to market to Hispanics, my content would be in Spanish, obviously, right? So it's really understanding your demographic, age. Millennials are completely different from seniors, right? And then what's your personal style? How does it all fit together and create that brand around you? And if anybody needs help, I love doing that stuff. Here it says 20 minutes, but I don't want to keep you with me all for the rest of the day. and it's compatible with your personality. So remember how you have to be true to yourself for the whole, throughout the process. And then marketing your brand to sellers and marketing your listings to buyers. So for me, doing the real estate problem solver works for both sellers and buyers, right? So for buyers, I can find you your house. Sellers, I can sell your house. And you know, if the problem is finding a buyer, I'm going to find them. And once again, it talks about deciding what kind of customers you want. It's going to be great when you're all so successful that there's a client that comes up that is that for whatever reason isn't a match, that you can walk away from it, right? And then pick the best marketing vehicles for your brand. So some people find the hand sanitizer stations at Safeway, right? And they put their face there. Their brand is their face, and they don't do anything else. That's, you know, that could be a vehicle where you start putting your brand out there. Website, social media, everything else.
Have you ever done any of those brandings, like with the hand sanitizer or anything like that? Where
like a station at Safeway?
Yeah, or like posting in public that's highly like traffic, you know?
Yeah. I've never done the Safeway one because I mean, personally, I don't think I would ever pick a realtor from the hand sanitation. But I can see how, you know, some people, I mean, if I see that lady ever, the one that's here I'm in Southside San Jose, if I ever see her, I'll know her. See her every time I walk into Safeway.
And you know, she likes hand sanitizer.
Right? I'm sorry,
Oh,
Josh.
I said, and you know, she likes hand sanitizer.
Yeah, that's right. You know, you always stand and you walk. I always clean my hands before I go in Safeway. So if I see her, yeah, I'll know her. I don't know if I would use her. Let me think. The farming, I did a big sign in Willow Glen, but once again, that was in the beginning of my career and I wasn't consistent with it. So I don't know how successful it was. I think my prospecting and going to my database has been a lot more successful than me. I've never gotten a call from a for sale sign. Has anybody? They just walk by, well, I'm looking for a listing. Hey, Donna, I've never gotten anything from those kind of activities. And they're expensive. So play red light, green light. If you can afford it, you can test it. But it's something that you'll have to be consistent with. And I think with the stores, I think it's a 6-month contract. Anybody know?
It's something like that, but I think it's a good idea to do that if you're farming a certain neighborhood and you like put your face in Safeway near that farm, because then they're going to see you again.
Yeah,
right?
and you're doing the cards, right?
Yeah.
And you're doing the mailers, right? So it can't be a standalone. It has to be part of an entire marketing plan that you have around getting your listings and buyers. So you're farming it, you're door knocking, everyone's getting your mailer. They go to Safeway, there's your sign. And you know, you're going to start getting for sales in that farm as well. So they'll start seeing your for sale signs. So it's part of an overall. So then you're right, Christina, like when I had the sign up in Willow Glen, it was just a sign, right? Why did it there, not Campbell? I don't know. It was the beginning.
Just so they say, oh, there's that gal again, right? That's just a reminder that I know I saw her before, right? I got the mailing in the mail, so.
Yeah, so, and then the woman, there's a Safeway by me on Almaden Expressway in Branham, and I see her at a CVS as well, this on the other side of Branham, so she's everywhere. So 6 methods for marketing your brand. Community involvement is huge. People love that. If you can partner with a school, oh my God. So last year I did, for kids, they always do the backpack drive. But I did a teacher drive in my neighborhood, which is my farm, and I put the notice out next door. I explained what I was doing, and I did a mailer, and everybody just had to drop off school supplies on my porch. I had a big bin where they could just throw them in, and then I just gathered it and took it to the school, which is I live across here from Gunderson, and it was total picture opportunity, video opportunity. Took advantage of that. So community involvement, people tend to get involved. You can do media, mail outs, the mailers, signs, put the billboards. I see agents on billboards. Automated marketing, so you can do that through command. You have, you could do like who has set up their holiday text smart plan in command. Come on, you guys.
Nope.
Oh my God, that's 12 touches. You don't have to do anything. That's, almost once a month, even if you're not touching that person, they will automatically get touched on every holiday. And you can even add a couple. I added like Cinco de Mayo and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's, and if it's Nick Baldwin, if you look him up on YouTube, it's like a 3-minute video on how to do it, how to add a holiday smart plan to your command. It's great. And the internet, obviously, right? You got your website. We're good. 3, market research a new marketing method in your area. So where are people going? What are they seeing? I did, because nobody's going anywhere. Like I said, I'm farming in my neighborhood. I did a dumpster day because people are staying home. They're painting, they're fixing their homes, they're doing stuff to their garages. And so I'm telling you, I mailed out like 500 and I got, I think like 45 contacts that day, like name, phone number and email address, because I know I could look up their physical address. So just for one day, and the thing got full, and the people who weren't able to come were not happy. So next time I'm going to get a sponsor and have it for 2 days over the weekend, and it was great. I wish if we didn't have COVID-19, I would have done a barbecue and people could hang out, but we couldn't do it. But people would come by, and I was hanging out there, and I gave them a hand sanitizer. Here, why don't you check in so I can tell you thank you at the end. Really want to get to know you. You're my neighbor, and they gave me the information freely. So research your marketing methods in your area. What do you think might work? Check out what other people are doing. I got that idea from another agent that does it in Cambrian, and he gets quite a few listings from his neighborhood because he does that. Talk to your team leader, Laura, mentors, and make sure it's lead with revenue. Any questions? Anybody have any great ideas that they've done lately that created a lot of buzz?
No,
Come on, you guys. I know you guys have some good ideas.
I wasn't, but I was trying to look up some for like fall or October or something.
Oh, I got my fall. Let me show you. Oh, sorry. Okay, so Mikey Dorky. See it? Dollar store. Dollar store. So I'm going to do like a little don't fall for something. I don't know what the message is. I'm going to attach it with my business card and take the little tag off, and it's really one of my pop buys.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was $1 at the dollar store. And another one is the small hand sanitizers, and I put a tag around it with my contact information. And I keep those with me so I could just hand them out.
What I wanted to do was stand in front of my Lucky's, where I grocery shop, right? People are standing out there selling things. I wanted to have like a little booth and maybe hand out, but I couldn't get authorization from the store manager. But I see these people selling like homemade
Girl Scout cookies.
I'm like, why can't I? But I think that's a great idea to stand out there like a little booth, handing out hand sanitizer with your card on it. Would you like some information, or don't you think?
Amazing. So, when I did my dumpster day, one of the gentlemen that lives in my neighborhood, I didn't know this, he's the president of this huge car club. They all have like cars from the 50s, all the old muscle cars, right? And they have a Thursday get together off of Foxworthy and Cherry, and he's inviting me to come and just have a little table and hang out and have everybody get to know me while they do these events. And they also go off to trade shows and do things like that, and I could go with them. And just because I had dumpster day. So that was cool. And my hand sanitizers. I'm sorry?
I was going to say a long-term idea that we had, well, we have two. One more immediate is we're going to get one of those little beach tents, where like those shade tents, set up a little mobile office and then park that on the beach, and then have a couple signs that say realtors on duty. And then my plan is I just got into surfing. And so before COVID, we had this idea before COVID that we're going to restore an old VW van and have it branded, and then, you know, go to these beach areas in the parking lots, do the same kind of thing, you know, be working in our mobile office and have the signs up front, but then also use it to like, as a tour around, like if we're going to go look at properties, pile in the van, you know, Santa Cruz, the surf mobile.
And a VW van is above, you know, that's like,
It's iconic.
That's my car someday. But that's a great idea.
Little...
You know, you could do it like in the old days. You could have done it at Starbucks, right? There's a sticker on the back of your laptop that says, you know, realtor on duty or whatever, and you could, and people would just talk to you.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit hard with COVID, but I mean, it's people are starting to eat outside again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's branded masks. I mean, those are a little bit expensive. That's why I haven't done them. But even the hand sanitizers was, you know, like $1 at the dollar store, and I got they were the good ones.
Do they have them there?
Yeah, you just have to call them first, and I got the Germex. See, I got the little Germex that I don't even have. I put a little. I print out a little. I don't know. I ran out of how I printed, but I put a little tag on them with my contact information, and I forgot what it says.
I saw on, I've been looking on Pinterest, and for the hand sanitizer, someone put germs are scary, but home prices aren't. The home market isn't.
Oh, that's so cute.
See, that exactly. How cute is that?
That's so cute.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes, I've been looking a lot.
Yeah, and you could get these, you know, you get these at the dollar store, but they run out really quick. Or just watch for sales. Target has them. If you go at night, they don't make you stay. They don't stick you to the only 3 per person, because I bought like 50 of them when they were on sale at Target. I just went late at night. Nobody asked me. Gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, so all those are great ideas.
Do you want to stand out in front of Lucky's with me and we can be a team? I won't do it by myself. I'm too
I would totally do it. I don't care. Of course. It'd be easy. We could hand out gloves and masks and whatever, you know?
Yeah.
I saw one that had masks, and it said, unmask your future home.
Oh,
I like that one. See? God, you guys. See? And those aren't expensive ideas, right?
Yeah.
Those are all great ideas. Keep them coming, because I'm loving the van one. And being at the beach, I'm in. So community involvement is one of the big ones. So, you know, join the chamber. They're doing, the San Jose Chamber is doing meetings all virtually. You can participate, get your name on the list as a member. It's something to do. I used to love Campbell. I used to live in Campbell. That's why, and I belong to the chamber in Campbell, and I actually joined the board. Charities are great. So sometimes if you sponsor even a small thing, you get your name out there. So I like to do Next Door. It's domestic violence, and they do a lot of great stuff. So I do a lot of charity with them. Social organizations, all of them. Whatever you like to do, there's going to be an organization, or there's going to be a Facebook group you can join to participate in and get your name out there. And just make sure, you know, I always say, we'll say problem solver with Keller Williams, just get your name and get your brand out there. On the community too, if your community doesn't already have one, do a, not a business page, but do a community group so that other people can comment on the page as well, not just you. Makes it a little bit easier to grow. So I learned that because I did a business page, and you know, you're the only person that can provide content. That's not good. You want to be able to interact with your community or wherever you're farming. So see if there's a Facebook page or a Facebook group. If there isn't, you start it. This is something interesting. This woman I know, she does a lot of podcasts. When the Supreme Court Justice RGB passed away, she immediately, for whatever reason, started an RGB group. Within days, she got to 100,000 members.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Holy crap. We were all sitting there watching the numbers and the people just talking, and she was the best woman and telling stories, and it was just amazing. But you know, she had it in her, she thought about it, she acted on it, she got it done. So, you know, a great idea that you don't act on is just a dream, right? You got to act on them. So if you have an idea, you got to do them. Marketing your brand, so a checklist. You know, you thank your sponsors. That's, you know, you can be an announcer. Bingo night. If you like old people, go to bingo night and be the announcer, and you'll be their best friend. MC awards. I MC'd a fashion show once. That was fun. And always, sponsoring events is always great. Media advertising, not one of my favorite things, but something else you can do. You just got to track your response rates and impressions and what kind of publication it is and how many people are members or are going to receive that publication. If you're in like Almaden Valley, they have Almaden Valley Times, or there's a one in Los Gatos, so where you have a listing, or if you want a farm, see if there's a local newspaper, whether it's printed or online, and participate in it. And then once again, you got your mail outs, always include an offer. There always has to be a call to action. I can't tell you how many times people would, when I was in corporate, I would receive things and I would keep them on the board to remind people, if you don't have a call to action, what a waste of money. If you don't tell somebody what to do, where to click, how to call you, how to email you, you really not only wasted your time, but probably wasted some money too. We've talked about hand delivery. We could door knock. Now we can't door knock yet, but we can at least put it on people's porches if that's what you like to do. Get some exercise there. Email. We talked about leveraging seasons, right? So that's going to be my fall. My little scarecrow will be my fall piece that I'll do. And then I've done pumpkins for my top customers with I got pictures. I forgot what I did last year, but they got pumpkins on their porches with a card on it, and it was some Halloween.
That was something that somebody brought up a while ago, you know, and because everybody gets Christmas, they get the typical, you know, holiday cards, but sending out non-traditional holiday stuff, right? Like yesterday was Daughters, or whenever it was Daughters Day recently, and so like something like that, or you know, some of these offset ones that aren't like, because everybody's getting bombarded with Christmas, New Year's, whatever, and doing something like, I don't know.
Yesterday was coffee day and I didn't even realize it. Yesterday, the day before, coffee day. Wouldn't it be cool to, you know, send out a Starbucks card? Yeah, exactly. And so, and you know, those are things that you could add to your holiday texting. Just saying, happy coffee day. You know, if you respond to this, text me back for a $5 Starbucks card. I don't know, another way to engage and have them call you back. And if you don't have their contact information, maybe that's your not mets, right? And if you respond to this text with your contact information, you'll get a $5 Starbucks card. That'll be you know, that could potentially be the best lead ever and lead to $1 million listing. You don't know, but that's a great idea. I love the Daughters Day. I missed it. My kids were mad. I have 3 daughters. They couldn't believe that I didn't post anything. Horrible mom. Signs. So we talked about signs, right? Make sure proof materials before and after printing. So I'm having dumpster day. It was happening on the 30th and 31st, and I put the 29th and 30th. So that was a waste of money. So very important to proof. Maintain your signs in good condition, obviously. Make sure that the look and feel of the sign is your look and feel. You know, I like red, so everything I do is red. Don't have a red brand and put out a blue sign, right? And make sure it's legible. So make sure if it's a sign that you're going to put in the street, you know, make sure that people can see it as they're driving by and actually get the information and see it. And so there's some information on the yard signs there to the right. Let's see, automated. We like the automated, so we talked about the holiday texting. You know, automated marketing is easy because it's automatic. You know, emails, it could be the text messages. It's easy, just put it out, and it's a way to be consistent without you spending a lot of time on it. So for the holiday thing, I think I spent about an hour doing it, and I got it's all done for the next 12 months. And so that as a holiday, like on Halloween, it's going to go out on Halloween. for it to happen again, I have to go back in and say that campaign will be October 30th, 2021. That's all I have to do. Any questions? Okay, a website. I mean, yeah, this is really basic. So just the internet, right? Get your name and your brand and pictures. And pictures, oh, this is a good one. So we don't talk about this here in this presentation, but having pictures of yourself at being an active agent at listings, at events, at the school, in the van, you know, out on the beach, under the thing, doing, anytime you get pictures and people start clicking on it, the back end of Google starts rating you higher and higher. And so ideally, when you should Google your name and see where if any of your pictures show up. You should be on that first page. But they always say, you know, the cemetery? A company cemetery is on page 2 of Google, because who goes to page 2 of Google? You find whatever you need on page 1 and you do it. And you find that vendor, or you get that information on that first page. Nobody goes scrolling through pages. So you want to make sure, get the most pictures you can out there and just take over that first page. So when Josh, when you check your name, you're on that first page of Google, on the Google search. So, and video too, video helps that as well. You can put, I find that every time I listen, I put all the pictures on Pinterest. That helps me with my ratings. So you'll see pictures of homes come up and they're associated to my name as well. So that helps. So everywhere you can put pictures, put them. Didn't know who knew that one? Do you guys know that one? How they rank you?
No.
Yeah, more pictures out there, the better. So LinkedIn, put them on your Facebook, tag yourself, make sure you tag yourself. Deliver content. So marketing your brand, deliver the content that the public wants, right? And make your sites and content findable. You don't want to, I just can't imagine deliver content that the public doesn't want, right? Make sure that it makes sense, not only for the public, but really for the audience that you're targeting. So if I'm in my farm, I know who has owned the house more than, I think, 15 years. That's my seniors. And so they'll get a different mailer compared to everybody else. And then the renters will always get something about the home buying. And then I know who owns those houses, and I tell them, are you ready to detach? Are you ready to sell your rental? That they have a different kind of messaging. So always know your audience and the content that you're delivering to them. I don't want to do senior messaging and it goes out to a house where a bunch of millennials live, right? It doesn't make sense. Wasted my money, wasted my time. And I think most of you know about marketing your listing, right? Most methods work to sell properties. They don't really work to sell properties. They really, they bring you buyers. So I find that marketing to agents works better when I have a listing, because I got to get that agent to talk to their customer and then they come to me. Very rarely have I've never found anybody that just drove by, gave me a call, how much for that house, and then all of a sudden I could double end it. Has that happened to anybody?
That used to happen back in the day.
Yeah,
How many? Don't age yourself.
Had a couple times, but
really? Never to me.
Yeah.
Not to me.
I mean, it was kind of fluky, I think. But yeah.
And it was probably easier when we could do open houses, right? Where you had a bunch of people coming in and you could have a conversation with people and, bring them in. But
yeah, one was a sign call and one was at an open house.
Yeah, okay. But usually it's the agent. And so 43%, they go on the internet looking for their houses. By the time they call an agent, they already know what house they want. 33% is other agents. So when I get a listing, I always find who's buying and selling within at least a mile and a half, depending on the area. I find what agents are doing business, and they're the first ones to get my listing information. Do you have any leftover buyers from that transaction? And reach out to them. And so, it's funny, brand relative 6%. Interesting, right? A home builder 5%. So the print ad, remember we talked about signs and print ads? 1%. So really your website and other real estate agents give you the best bang for your buck. And then use a plan that balances both goals. The MRI book, it sells properties and attracts buyers. So this is all in the MREA book as well. So staging and pricing is really, you know, houses don't sell because the marketing's bad or it's overpriced. That's it. That's the only reason, especially in this market. So there you go. So if the price is great, you're going to sell it even if your marketing is bad. But if your marketing is bad and you're overpriced, that property's going to sit there. Your for sale sign, your writer signs, directional signs. Make sure there's flyers. And there's flyers inside the house as well. When people go in to preview, make sure the MLS is correct. I want you to know, yesterday I had a client that's interested in a home in Hollister, and it was a huge 2-story house, but she had 2 bedrooms, 2 baths in the MLS listing. I gave her a call. I go, is it really a 2-bedroom, 2 bath? She goes, oh my God, why do you say that? This is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. And I go, well, that's what it says on the MLS. And she had to immediately go and correct it. So make sure your MLS is correct. Do a virtual tour. That's so important right now with COVID. I think that's funny, marketing. So put everything you do in marketing too, is you're doing emails, text messages, include your listings, get that as much information. And you can also let people in your office know that they can market your listing too. So now you have an army of people in the office that are using your pictures, your images, your videos to help you get the word out, right? So that's a great way. It's a free way. Not a free way. It's a free way to get your word out. Sorry, made myself laugh. We don't do open houses, emails, obviously. Make sure you track your showings. I think sellers always appreciate understanding how much traffic has come through the house. And comments. They always want comments. What did they say about my house? You know, they love to hear that. And do the creative marketing ideas. So this is all in the MREA book as well. Great points, and anything you could do to add to that is always a plus. Some of the great marketing ideas we were discussing now, you can easily include listing information, you know. And like I said, marketing your listing to other agents. I would just send an email blast to the office database and get the word out to everybody with them. And so make it as easy as possible for other agents to forward your information. So, you know, if you can make it an attachment, but that's just an extra thing they have to do. So I like to take my my flyer and put it right into the body of the email. So when they open that email, they see the flyer, and all they have to do is forward. They don't have to open the email, then double click on a PDF, and open the PDF and see if this is something they want to forward to a client. Then, you know, go back and email, right? That's a lot of steps. Just they open, and then your subject line is really important too. Don't just say listing. There's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath remodeled home in Willow Glen listed at. I mean, capture, you know, get their attention, make them want to open it, and make them want to forward it. I think that the subject line is really long, and I think it's funny when Christina knows this. Christina, do I put everything in the subject line? Right? You already know what I'm telling you before you even open it. Right. And by the time you open it, it's just like, thanks. That's it.
Yeah.
Right. And so don't waste that space. That's a lot of real estate that you can use to get your message out. So when somebody's scanning through their emails, think about it, they're scanning through their emails. It just doesn't say new listing. Okay, well, I'll open that. Who cares? They get hundreds of those. But if you tell them it's a new listing in Willow Glen, with the list price of blah, 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 4-bedroom, 5, give them as much information as you can to make them want to open that email. They might have that client that they can immediately just forward to. Agent events, obviously, hold classes in your, there's some of these things that we can't do. You could offer a higher commission split, obviously. But anything you can do with your agents, get to know them, especially the ones that around the listing. So I try to, like, I don't know Fresno, but one of my best friends is selling her mom's house in Fresno. And so I've tried to partner with as many agents already as possible in Fresno that know the market. So they help me price it. They're helping me get people in there. I'm not having to drive out there. If I have somebody that wants to see it, I forward it to them and they're taking care of it. And that's part of developing those relationships with agents. So important.
And that's a huge thing I think that everybody overlooks is like the co-list aspect. You know, like you said, partnering with a lot of agents, you know.
It's huge, right? Because, you know, yeah. And get, you know, top producers, you know, like a Joe Velasco, right? I mean, he's been doing real estate forever too. If he probably has somebody from almost every listing in his database somewhere. So get those relationships going with people that are top producers that have a big database that you can, you know, watch, copy. No reason to create everything on your own. You could just, you know, watch, wash, rinse, and repeat. Makes it easier for you. Once again, the MLS has to be complete. We talked about that. Use at least 14 pictures, if not more. I added doing a drone. People love the drones. The 3D Matterport is great right now, especially since it's so hard to get into homes. It actually includes a like a ruler. It looks like a ruler, so you can actually measure walls in a room to see if your furniture fits or how big is the room really. And people just love it. And then virtual tours and videos. Got to have a video. And what I do, what I've started doing, instead of just when I'm doing a video, just going straight to the house, I do an intro and an outro. So I'll introduce myself and come see this beautiful home located at blah, 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 only listed at, and then do the video on the home and then end it with you, you know, thanks for taking time to see the house, and don't forget to contact me. And once again, there's a video, you tag yourself, and that increases your visibility as well.
We had right when first COVID in the early days, a presentation about virtual open houses. This one agent that was knocking it out of the park with them. The one tip they gave, which I really liked, was they went out in front of the house and he did like a little pre-speech, but he went macro to micro, right? So he kind of talked about sort of the overall bigger picture, and then narrowed it right down to, like, you know, the city, the neighborhood, the street, you know, and so he gave people really a good glimpse, as opposed to just like, hey, here's this house, it's awesome, come check it out. He's like, hey, you know, nationally, this is what's going on, and that affects this, and we're in this great city, this neighborhood is awesome because of these things, and this street's particularly good because of X, and even better, this house is on it, you know. And so it kind of really, you know, it shows your knowledge and gives people a much better connection to what's going on there.
That's great advice, and people will spend more time on a video than a static image. So this is not too long.
Yeah.
But you're right. Yeah, to position yourself as an expert when you first start out and talk about the neighborhood, and hey, we're just 1 block from Starbucks, 2 blocks to Safeway, you know, and there's a park and dog-friendly neighborhood. Your neighbor across the street is a, you know, police officer, whatever it is, you know. That might be good, that might be bad. I don't know. Depends on who you are.
Right.
But yeah, but to set yourself up as an expert in that neighborhood, great idea. Feature listed on your homepage, you know, doing the website, neighborhood, the website with using the address, doing blogs if you're doing blogs. You know, you got to sell, obviously put your signs prominently. Make sure your brochures are in there. Make sure you have writers. If you're using Land Voice, Josh, you know, they can do a recording. So they scan the QR code. No, they don't scan. They dial, I'm sorry, they don't scan a QR code. They actually dial a 1-800 number. And then when that's on a writer, and somebody will say, thank you for visiting 123 Main Street. This home is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, and it gives a beautiful explanation, kind of like a, you know, Super Bowl commercial kind of description of the house. And then at the end, it'll say, if you would like to speak to the agent, hit 1. If you want to speak to an agent, select 2, right? And so now you can partner with your preferred lender. He'll get messages. It'll let you know if they're calling him to get qualified, or if they're stopping by, you'll get some information as well. That's it's good if people want information, you'll get it. Like I said, I haven't had that happen, but at least they get the information from the drive-by. And sellers love that too, because they see the additional efforts that you're doing when marketing their properties. And then that in turn is good because they're going to tell your friends, right, and family to use you. Max
is
guys,
a really good tool for that.
yeah, it's great.
The text code. One of our agents, that's how we first got onto it back in Montana, was using it, and they had an incredible amount of success with it because of a text in. They would capture their information to get. So.
Yeah. So when they hit the one and come to you, you already have their phone number, and you get the lead immediately after. It's a great system through Land Voice. And so you got to maximize your marketing to bring in more buyers for your business. Don't just qualify your listing. Don't give up too much information. You want to tease them, get them in, but not so much that they might disqualify as, oh, that's not how, it's not for me without really seeing it. And if you don't have any listings, you could ask people in the office. It says to advertise HUD homes as well. There's a house that you want to advertise and you call the agent. I've never had anybody tell me no, because it's just an additional person marketing a property that you're trying to sell anyways. So I've never had anybody say no. Anybody questions? I mean, I think, let me see, 1, 2, we're already at 1:10. Any questions, comments? Easy breezy. So now we're going to go into the MREA, systematic marketing, the 3 foundational market plans. There's the 8x8 for your Mets. That's when it hits them hard. 33 touches over the year, 12 direct. I mean, I think you have to read the MREA book to kind of get the lingo. Have you guys read it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good.
Not enough times.
Really? So there goes your 50 contacts in your database, 1 transaction, right? So your database is your business. I think it's going to use the 12:2 and the 51 ratios. Figure out how many contacts you need. Oh, have you, this is part of what my coach had us do to figure out my business plan for next year. So we had to figure out what was my net income was for next year. 30% of that was going to be my operating expenses. 30% is cost of sale. Then your total gross commission income, right? Then you figure out what's your average commission amount. 50-50, sell and buy, and it really gave me a great goal of what I need to sell to make my goals for next year. And so all this that helps you here. What's, total transaction was 136, and you have 30 Mets, and you have what 30, it tells you how many you have to do to get your goal of 36 transactions, right? Makes sense. You guys are quiet.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, good. Thank you, Sarah. I knew you were still there.
Interesting, because like usually everyone does it the opposite way. So you went backwards.
Right. Well, yeah, because you want to know how much you want to make first, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and then you can build your database. If you don't have a big enough database to make those goals, right? Well, what do you need to add and how you're going to add them, where you're going to find them.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So it depends on really how much you want to make next year. What's your net income going to be? So I got pretty brave. So we'll see how I do next year. Target audience. There are 3 key strategies. Target your audience. So we know that, right? Seniors, millennials, veterans. There's any questions? I don't see chats. Oh, I kind of see chats. Okay, we're good. Oh, Yvonne's here. Hey, Yvonne. And the 33 touch, again, gives you an edge over most agents, right? Because you're reaching out and you're touching your clients a lot more than anybody else does. And the 12 direct is for your haven't mets. Those are the ones that are going to take a little bit longer, unless you just happen to call them that one day that they thought about selling their house, right? But once again, MRA book has all the details on this. There's also a ton of videos on YouTube from some great instructors. So if you want to understand the 8x8, the 32 touch, or how you can customize your smart plans to even do more than this and automate the system, they're great. The Nick Baldwin videos, I love them because he does it. They're short, and he just gets to the point. You get it done, and and you're good. So I love him. And I think, oops. Well, making it memorable, making it persuasive. So we talked about that, right? That offer response at every piece, that call to action or CTA, come from contribution, benefits, not features. Once again, your brand, you're going to have that consistent look and feel. An attractive professional look. I'm more not as like firm, like I don't know what I'm professional, but I'm not the real like perfect headshot. That's just me. If my friends would not recognize me, that's what I did. Have a unique eye-catching hook. So, I mean, if you got something like this, right, it's time for reality check. The little dog with the big bone. Personalize your ads and events and look for longevity, right? Something that you can repeat, something that's easy to do, doesn't take a lot of time, and definitely doesn't take a lot of money. It gets the word out. So like Christina will be in front of Lucky's, is it? Or World, what is it? Where we're going?
Lucky's.
Lucky's, which Lucky's?
Capital Expressway.
Oh, that's a good one.
Place is hopping.
It is, it is. That was always packed. Yeah, so there you go. So, and there's a lot of places if you struggle with design or creating content, there's a lot of great templates and designs when you go through the command. So when I get something in contract or sold or new listing, all I have to do is pop in the picture, put in the real address and list price, and I post it on all my social media, and it's that quick. And then there's give me some other ones. There's keeping current matters.
Yeah.
KCM. That's like $20 a month, and you get access to buyer guides, seller guides, content for postcards that's a little bit more like the dog, more on the funny side, not as serious, but they have tons of content there. There's Homekeeper, Home KEEP, just an R, not ER. They provide content, and it's kind of like a when you call in, when you put in a request for somebody, so Angie, it's like an Angie's List.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so but they have stories about, okay, it's time to clean out your gutters, and they'll have a blog, and you can use that content and personalize it and send it out to your clients in your database. So there's a lot of resources to get content out there if you're having difficulties with that. And then design tips, use only one focused message per piece. I used to have, I had one that it was the most confusing piece of okay, so it was a flyer this big, but apparently she had every house that's ever sold in the Silicon Valley on it. So there was like a million, it was just rows and rows of houses across this whole piece of paper with little signs of sold. And then her picture was in it with her contact information. There's no way anybody was going to see that. And so, if she wanted to get a listing, it should have been more specific to the listing, and maybe go to her website to see everything that she sold. So just, keep the message focused per piece. Don't try to cram so much information that nobody knows what you're trying to talk about. Testimonials are awesome. I try to do it on Tuesdays. I do Testimonial Tuesday as a hashtag for my social media. Once again, leverage the seasons. We talked about that. Oh, brand both sides, please. There, when you have a flyer like that goes in the box at, let's say, our for sale sign, why is the other side completely blank? You could use Keller Mortgage, and there's your backside. And that's easy, not easy. It's easy, and you could include your contact information, right? Because you have to be a Keller Williams agent to take advantage of Keller Mortgage, and there's your information for them to contact you if they need a mortgage. Or if you have other listings, don't just list that house, say, and other listings here, or put your own your agent profile, a little bit about me. I grew up on this street and played ball at the corner, whatever it is. But put something on the back that's going to promote you and your brand and your services and get the word out, right? It's a blank piece of paper. They're going to take it, give them something to read, okay? That one makes me crazy when I see a blank piece of paper on the back. And then putting it all together. Any big ahas? Anybody say, oh my God, I'm going to do that? Any big ahas?
Yeah.
Yeah? What is it, Sarah?
Well, you have to have a call to action.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Please have a call for action.
Proofread.
Yep. I was guilty of that one.
Continue the same look on your marketing material.
Yeah. And you know what? And so and a lot of those services that print the cards that are already a template, my recommendation is to try to change it a little bit according to your brand. Because if it's a template, that means other agents are using that exact same template. And you don't know how many other people are farming that same area. And so they can potentially be getting the same piece with a different face on it. So if you can, you know, and you have the time and you're able to do that, I would customize it and make it your own. Fiverr is a great resource. Does everybody know what Fiverr is?
Yeah.
Fiverr. So if you have, let's say you want them to design a door hanger, it's like $5. And you give them the content, you tell them the dimensions, and you go back and forth, and they give you the final source file so that you can provide to a vendor to print.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, they have all kind. They do social media posts. They do video. I mean, anything you need, they're there. Brochures, business cards, everything. And so you just pick a designer that you want to work with, and you check on the pricing. I always like the ones that give me unlimited revisions. I don't like when they say just 3, because I swear I'll always find something that needs a 4th, and then I have to pay extra. But they're a great resource that doesn't really kill the bank. Any other recommendations anybody has? We're good?
Yeah.
And so Josh, when you were going to do on the beach, did you have to get a permit or anything like that, or it didn't matter?
Oh, I don't know. It was just an idea we had, you know, because we were just, we were out one day and we were just like, you know, want to work outside. And, you know, like we drove up one and found this little area on the cliff and just had our folding chairs and we're on our laptops overlooking the ocean. And we're like, oh, this is pretty awesome. And then we saw those little sunshades on the beach and like, oh, you know, we could pull that out or even just like maybe get one and get it branded to us and, you know, just be sitting there working because, and especially in an area like this where, you know, people are coming going, they might be looking for, they're visiting and they want to move here or they want a vacation home or anything like that. You know, we had the parking lot idea and just there's a few sort of things we're tumbling around with that and how to.
I think it's a great idea. I love that.
How to, you know, sort of stand out and be, get in people's faces, you know. And you know, the nice thing with that is that it can be done in a way that, you know, you're outside, so there's good social distancing possibilities and you know, they can.
Yeah, you have your mask on, right? I mean,
yeah.
They wouldn't be too scared or too apprehensive in approaching you. That's a good idea. I love that idea. I could totally hang out at the beach all day.
Right. That's why we moved here.
So don't forget 3 hours of prospecting a day. And if, you know, no skipping, right? If you race, you must replace. So then if I missed, like I'm going to miss 3 hours today, they're going to do 6 tomorrow, I guess. But you have to lead generate. If you're not, remember that you have to bring it all together. You have the prospecting, the marketing, and your branding. If it's like the 3-legged stool, if you're not doing all 3, the chair falls over, right? Mm-hmm. So you want to make sure you're doing all 3 to get the most out of your database, to get the most sales or the most buyers, most business, right? And so really got to do all 3. I know I struggle sometimes with the phone call part of it. And I like doing social media. I like doing the marketing. Let me create the smart plans. You gotta pick up the phone and make calls. And it's really true about the no interruptions. I find now that I'm working from home, I have to close my door because everybody comes in all day and interrupts me. And then all of a sudden, Mom, I'm hungry, make me something to eat or whatever, or let me do a little laundry since I'm home. I mean, it's constant, right? So I just got into the habit where once I come in here, I close the door. And if the door's closed, the family knows not to come in unless it's lunchtime at 5 o'clock. If I go to the bathroom, I sneak out. I don't let them see me. They'll stop me. And that's it. That's the last slide. Wow, we did it at an hour and like 20 minutes. Not bad, right? Well, we didn't do the exercises. I took those out. Anybody have any thoughts on their branding? Like Josh, what are you going to be? Do you have a brand yet? Besides Josh Real Estate?
No. Well, so my wife and I are a team, so it's Quick and Starbuck. Yeah.
So I was thinking that was really cute, you know, Starbucks coffee, giving out cards or having to do with coffee or something, or coffee.
Yeah. Well, I took note of that coffee campaign idea on Coffee Day. And it's actually ironic because I just met a guy yesterday. I was after surfing, I had my coffee on the cliff, and he has a bike cart that he does mobile coffee on. And so we got to talking. We were actually going to interview him for a small business highlight, and you know, but looking to kind of get more involved with him because after our discussion, very like-minded. But yeah, you know, just really, you know, this is kind of, we're kind of restructuring at square one, I guess, for lack of a better term, and really looking at the lifestyle side of it and being kind of some kind of a lifestyle brand in that, you know, outdoor, active.
And you're in Santa Cruz, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know, whatever goes with that lifestyle. I love that your last name is Starbucks. I mean, I would, you know, you could customize the gift cards. Did you know that?
What's that?
You can customize the Starbucks gift cards that you give out.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so you could put your logo with your contact information, whatever it is, whatever you want. You can have the gift cards printed.
Yeah.
So that might be interesting.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I mean, too bad you wouldn't get in trouble, but it's like that Starbucks, right? Just
yeah. Well, I have no S at the end of my name, so.
Oh, there you go, Starbucks.
Yeah.
There's only one. That's
Right.
the difference, right? Yeah, but I love that. I love that it's the whole, like probably the organic, healthy lifestyle kind of brand that you want to do, right?
And, you know, in relocation, you know, because like I said, we were in Montana before, and I'm from Canada originally, and there's a lot of movement in those areas. And so, you know, lifestyle, and we've always lived in these types of communities in the mountains, you know, active outdoors. So really kind of taking a look at what that looks like and how we can connect with that.
That's awesome. And then let me see, Sarah, do you have an idea what your brand's going to be? Unless you have one already. Do you have one already?
Well, I like dogs.
Oh, okay.
And I'm really laid back, so I don't know yet. But I like dogs and the beach and happy people. So.
Well, but I mean, you know, it's like I mean, talk about a lead magnet. Just take the dog for a walk.
Oh yeah,
right.
I actually got an idea because I walk our dog, and I was just gonna make a shirt while I'm dog walking, and because people were like, "Wear your name tag," but I was like, "Well, I'll just make a silly shirt and
ask me about real estate."
Yeah, well, I found this thing on Pinterest that says, "What's your sign?" And so I found a silly dog, and then I put, "What's your sign?" And on the back it says, "Mine is sold." And then you like put your info. So I was gonna see if that works.
and people love dogs. I mean, you're like, you know, you incorporate paw prints. You know, come to my listing. There's paw prints, or you know, maybe your imagery is, you know, like the dogs with a lot of dogs in them, you know, in front of the house, or you know, maybe it's your dog just in every single picture you ever do.
I just thought
your brand.
People would look at stuff more than like the average like templates for real estate, because I get those and we don't really look at them. So I was like, maybe if I put something cute on it, they'll look at it. And I thought dogs was easiest other than like kids playing. So
yeah, so I knew somebody that loved cats, and she went to Fiverr and she did a whole video of a listing, but it was the cat going through the house, like the cat's vision. And so it was cute as, oh my God, it was adorable. And so, you know, so it's like the video was done really low and the cat's looking up at the walls and the couches and the clock and walking through the house. And then, you know, it ended with like the cat on the front porch or something like that. But it was fun and it was cute and really fit with her brand. It was just perfect for her. So, you know, something you could do a lot with the dogs. That'd be fun. Yeah. Christine, I know you're out there. What are you gonna do? Do you know?
I'm getting ideas. I'm thinking wine, but I don't know if that'll work.
Wine always works.
Totally works. Wine always works. That's right.
No, I'm kidding.
I mean, when you think about it, you know, you could custom label wine, right? Or you know, and that wine bottle could be in your pictures, and maybe your mailers are in the shape of a wine bottle, or you know, things like that. Or you know, the glass trinkets. What are they called?
The wine thing,
That you put on
Or
glasses.
stoppers. Oh, or the names for
Yeah,
the
or toppers.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, the corker thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can have a lot of fun with the wine.
yeah,
Like no more whining,
right.
just come on, whatever.
Well,
Have fun with
You could do a promotion for wine after last night's debate,
that.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Another reason to drink.
right?
Yeah. Oh my God, it was horrible.
Did
And then Christina was just on another call the other day where the woman did a virtual wine tasting event with 15
Oh yeah.
couples. And
Yeah.
so she partnered with the winery, and they did, they put the wine in like smaller, they look like miniature, okay, I'm aging myself, like when they used to deliver milk in glass, they look in that little shape, and they made this little wood, so they had the 6, so there's 2 people, every person was delivered the box with the
Yeah.
wines.
Sure.
And so they all got online, and they had the whole cars, and they had to taste them and make comments, and then they placed orders. And it was awesome.
Very cute.
And she got tons of positive feedback, and she got leads from it. So that's a great idea, doing the wine thing. And I think I saw Lee, what do you brand yourself around?
Well, I actually have a brand at the radio station. I'm the real estate weatherman.
Are you really?
Cool.
And so I talk about, I retired from IBM and Varian and TRW a long
Oh my
time.
God, I worked at Varian.
Yeah, when I had hair. And then I got in real estate. So what happens is when I talk on my radio show, I talk about employment opportunities, trends, what's going on in the valley, as well as the real estate, as well as the forces that push on our real estate that doesn't necessarily affect others. So that's a lot for me to put on a brand. I'm still thinking about something that's cute, concise. This will never be as cute as dogs or wine or the beach, but I've got to come up with something that's a little eye-catching. And the programs, unfortunately, are not that simple. There's no sound bite that captures what I do, but I've got to come up with a way of simplifying it. And I'm kind of working on that. And I'm rolling over slowly the website into, I want to unfold that into my KW website, which I have not finished, by the way.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That is, yeah.
And I'll give you just 2 seconds on this. You see, the real estate market is made up of a bunch of micro markets. And if you want to get a flavor of this, go outside of your house sometime, go left or right, walk around the block, and figure out the cost per square foot in current market value of every house. And it could vary $500 on a single street. Some streets it varies $1,000 a square foot. So what happens is, you might have a listing on one side of the street in which it's going gangbusters, but somebody will list right across or around the corner. Of course, it's a cold winter over there. It's like an Arctic winter. And the difference is because the entire market in a global sense is made up of a bunch of micro markets that each have their own ecosystem. Kind of the premise that the radio station and programming is on.
That's awesome.
You can forecast what? Did you say you forecast weather too?
I forecast real estate weather.
Oh, real estate weather. That's so cute.
You're giving them real information, right?
Oh, yes. Yes, I start talking about the potential. I talk about, for instance, I'm doing a video right now about what economic shape is your recovery in. And I start with a V, and it's laughable, right? And then I stretch the V to a W. And then it goes out to a U, and then it goes way out to a swoop. And I talk about when you're dealing with buyers or sellers, you got to know what their position is on the recovery, because that's going to better equip you to handle their concerns and issues. And some of them they didn't even bring up. So if they're saying something like, we don't think there's going to be a therapeutic or a vaccine in the first quarter of next year, these people have a rather dim view of prospects of their own personal economic prospects. And so you can emotionally match up with how they are, do a little psychological matching and not agree with them that we're in the V and talk to them about the K recovery, if they're into that kind of thing. So when I start talking about trends that are going to affect the Valley, it's more than just employment. It's global trends. It's national, state, local trends. And then I talk about motivations and reasons. For instance, like I just listed last night a triplex in Willits, and I just got through closing a property up in the mountains. And of course, the biggest concern right now that the conversation is going on is all the insurance companies that are pulling out. So last Monday's program was about what's happening to prevent insurance companies from pulling out of the state of California. So in the downtown area of Willits, even though you're in the same zip code, you could probably get insurance. But if you go up Sherman Road far enough, nobody wants to insure you right now. And that includes existing policyholders.
Yeah.
So I didn't mean to say too much, but
no,
I'm trying to fold that large thing into my KW landing page.
That's cool.
What office are you out of, Lee?
Gateway.
Oh, okay, but you're selling up in Willits?
Oh no, I just got through selling in San Juan Bautista. I mean, I go wherever my clients need to go.
Right.
And so if I have investors that from here bought up there,
Okay.
and so yeah, I just go where my clients go, whatever they need. Unless it's too far, then I'm going to refer them to another carrier.
Yeah.
There's a limit to what's reasonable.
No.
I know you're gonna make me think about that, right? It's like the real deal, and then you can play off the real, make it real estate, and then what's really happening in insurance, what's really happening in whatever. You have fun with that one.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like the real estate weatherman, or I like the weather angle with that.
Yeah.
You can do lots of things with that. It's
And
sunny.
also, and you can address, it's kind of a wide open statement. So I've got a marketing person working on a background for me, but it should be pretty interesting. So I'll let you guys.
You gotta name yourself first before you do the graphics, because that's gonna drive what the graphics look like.
Yeah. So I'm going to need some help with this integration and how to do that. And I'm not quite sure how to do that, but I've got a special person. Hopefully she can help me. Otherwise, I'm going to need to defer to the office and see if there's somebody that can help me with that integration. I'm sure there is somebody.
Yeah, there is. That's awesome. And then Sarah said dogs. Let me see who else is on. Christina, you're the wine, the wina. Who else is on? Lee told us. Sarah told us. Elsie and Yvonne. Do you guys have any comments, or what brand you've been using or want to use or think about using?
I'm not sure if Yvonne is still on. I know
Okay.
she's very, very busy at home.
She is with her mom.
Yeah.
So anybody have any questions, comments? If you guys need absolutely any help, I'm here for you. Just let me know. I'll share my ideas easily with anybody that might want to hear that. You already got my fall one. I haven't figured out Halloween or Christmas yet, but that'll be coming next. And just we should all follow each other and track what we're all doing, so that we help us with some ideas. Anything?
Awesome. Thank you.
Everybody's good. Everybody's good.
Yeah.
I gave you back 25 minutes. How's that?
Whoop, whoop.
Okay. Okay, thanks everybody.
Time to
I
eat.
totally
Thank you.
appreciate you guys participating. It was fun. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It was
All right,
great.
You guys have a great day. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.